Okay, so we're going to solve this one now, which was on the worksheet, okay? So just like before, what do we have to do? We have to solve two equations, right? So we have 5x plus 4 equals 9. So we're going to solve this one first. So again, what do? We have to get x all alone, right? So x has to be all alone now. Okay, well, how do we isolate x? Well, we can subtract 4 from both sides, right? Like so. Right? And what happens when we do that? Well, these 4's are going to cancel. We're left with 5x equals 5. Okay, so now what? Well, we have 5 times x equals 5, right? Well, if we want to, so we want to get x all alone. We don't want 5 times x. We want x only. So let's divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 5, okay? And does that help us? Well, yeah, because those 5's are gone. We get x equals 1. That's what we get. So we get x here equals 1. All right, now are we done with the problem? Well, no, right? We're not done yet. And why is that? Well, we have this equation to solve as well. Actually, let me bring that a little further down. Like so. So this is what we have here. 5x plus 4 equals minus 9, right? Remember, you get two equations here, right? We get two equations we have to solve. Okay, so we have this equation. So now we have to solve this one. So let's do it. So it's really the same steps as the first equation. We want to get x all alone. So let's subtract 4 from both sides, right? Once we do that, we're going to have 5 times x equals negative 13. Okay, but again, we want x all alone. So we have 5x is negative 13, right? So we divide, right? We don't want 5x, we want x, so we divide by 5. Okay? And once we do that, these 5's cancel, and we get x equals minus 13 over 5. Now, if you left it as negative 13 over 5, that's fine also. So we have two solutions, 1 and negative 13 over 5. Let me just move this up like so. Now, some people, what they might do, I don't think Lumen does this, but they might have you write the solution set this way. You have these curly braces, and you list them. You have 1, comma, negative 13 over 5, like so. Okay? I mean, you could just list them between curly braces. Okay. Any questions on that? So now I'm going to do the next one. If I don't finish, that's okay. If I don't finish with the the questions, I mean, I'm going to post solutions to the worksheet anyway, so. All right. Okay, so let's do the next one then. Open this up. won't let me do that, but that's all right. There we go. That's good. Just want to make sure. Yeah.
When you're doing that solution set with like the curly braces,
Mhm.
does it matter if the negative is on the right or the left side, or no?
No, not for curly braces.
Okay, thank you.
When you have curly braces, that's a very good, that's a awesome question. When you have these curly braces, the order in which you list the elements doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Great question. All right, so for the next one, I just had it. Oh, sorry. Here we go. The absolute value. Negative 3x plus 9 equals 8. Just double check to make sure I didn't do anything silly. And I'm good. All right. So again, we have this equation to solve, right? Well, just like before, right? Just like before, what we do is we get two equations to solve. We have minus 3x plus 9 equals 8. And we have minus 3x plus 9. Why did I put a comma there? I don't know. Equals negative 8. We have two equations here. So we want to solve both. So from the first one on the left, right? Again, you want to get x all alone. Let me just move this up a bit. Good. So we have minus 9, right? Because you want to get x all alone. So let's get the 9 out of there. We subtract. See ya. We have minus 3 times x equals negative 1. Right? We subtract 9, so the 9's there cancel. Okay? So we have minus 3x equals minus 1. And then, how do we get x all alone? Well, we divide by minus 3. Like so. Right? We divide by minus 3, because now the minus 3's cancel. We get x equals negative 1 over negative 3. So it says 1 over 3. So we get a third. Okay. Now for the other equation. It's actually the same exact steps. Namely, we subtract 9 from both sides. And what happens next? The 9's cancel. Minus 3 times x equals minus 17. Not quite there, right? Because we want x all along. So we divide by negative 3. Both sides. These cancel. We get x equals 17, all divided by 3. And those are the two solutions. And again, if you want to put them in that curly bracket notation, but wait, they can't see that. Right? We get a third, comma, 17 over 3. And again, it doesn't matter what order you list them in. So I could have written 17 over 3, comma, 1 over 3. With the curly braces, it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Now, let me do another one. Yeah, that's good. All right, let me get the next problem, which is, so this is our next one. And again, this is inequality. In the past, I've taught how to handle the absolute value of something greater than or equal to a number. I mean, it's not terrible, but for time consideration, I'm skipping it. It's a little bit more involved, but it's really not terrible. So from here, what do? we want to somehow get, so we want to solve this inequality, right? Well, again, from here, there are two inequalities we have to solve. We get 7x plus 5 less than or equal to 6. But remember, the other inequality that you have to solve becomes greater than or equal to negative 6. So you have these two inequalities to solve. Two inequalities to solve, as you can see. Okay, so let's do that. We want x all alone, right? You want to somehow get x greater than or equal to something, right? And less than or equal to something else. So let's get x all alone. Okay, so we can subtract 5 from both sides, right? Right? So that happens. These cancel. We get 7 times x less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to negative 11. Okay? Now they can see that. Now we're not quite done, right? Because we don't want 7x all alone. We want x all alone. So we divide by 7. And again, we're dividing by a positive. Divide everything by a positive. So we don't turn the inequalities around. And when we do this, the 7's cancel. We get x less than or equal to 1 over 7, greater than or equal to negative 11 over 7. Okay, that's good. Now, how do we solve? Okay, so now what do we do? Well, now what we do is notice our solution set becomes an interval. Namely, we have minus 11 over 7, comma, 1 over 7. Now, since these are inequalities, not strict inequalities, that's why I have these square brackets here. Right? If you remember, when you have a, excuse me, that's not what I wanted to write. When you have a solution set like this, when you have this compound inequality, the solution set becomes A, comma, B. Good. And now let's graph this thing. Let me just move this up, going up. And where we graph it, right? Here's minus 11 over 7. 0 we know is between 1 over 7. Right? You have two closed circles, one over each. Oh, come on. And then you just connect them by a line. Microsoft Whiteboard is acting funny. It's not letting me draw a closed circle, so whatever. All right, whatever. All right. But that's how you do it. These circles have to be closed, so. All right. Any questions on that? Okay, so we're actually out of time. It's 12:50, so we'll stop here. Okay, sorry I couldn't get the closed circles filled in. I don't know. Microsoft Whiteboard is acting strange, I guess. So anyway, so we'll stop here. If I don't hear from you though, because I have office hours today from 2 to 3. If I don't hear from you, I'll see you on Monday. And again, with the exams, I'm going to do the best I can to get them to you by early next week. Okay?